So I'm a revolutionary in mind, body, and soul. And if I could best define what I mean by that, what am I talking about? I'm a revolutionary. What do I mean by that? If I could define it as precisely as possible, you take the Bill of Rights from Colorado and you take the Bill of Rights from America. And then also don't forget the natural rights, because in the state of nature, we have the right to exist, the right to defend ourselves, the right to all the freedoms that we were given was given by God, which means that it happened before government. We have our freedoms and our rights before government was instituted. And in America and Colorado, the government is instituted to protect our liberties, to protect our freedoms. The preamble says that we're here to establish justice, to promote the domestic tranquility, to promote the general welfare, to provide for the common defense, and to also protect our civil liberties. So here in Colorado, I got a right to initiative, referendum, and recall. I got a right to a speedy and public and impartial jury trial. I got a right to have access to the courts, a right to confront the witnesses against me, the right to subpoena witnesses and evidence, the right to due process. I have a whole bunch of rights and freedoms on paper. On paper, the right to have a grand jury indictment for any felony accusations. Wait a second, what? Where's that? That must be the American one. No, that's Colorado. Well, maybe, am I reading it wrong? Let me just read that directly. The right to be indicted first before being charged with a felony, prosecution's indictment, or information. Until otherwise provided by law, no person shall for a felony be proceeded against criminally otherwise than by indictment, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces and in the militia. Okay, so victims' rights, that's also freedoms. Ann Kelly, rolled her eyes at freedom. That's a fascist piece of shit. He thinks he's got freedom. Robert Ogburn says that as a DA, he was obligated to pursue every accusation to the fullest extent of the law, but also to protect our freedoms, to protect our liberty. With the equal vigor. With equal vigor. So the right to be free from intimidation, harassment, and abuse, I mean, that's just obvious. Is that a freedom? You want to be free from intimidation, harassment, and abuse? Yeah, I do. The right to receive a free copy of the initial incident report, the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity. The right to bail. We threw Alonzo Payne out on his ass because he didn't give a shit about victims' rights. I showed Ann Kelly, or I give her a URL of a video of a guy clicking his gun on the side of the vehicle on an SUV. But apparently, if I drive by Ann Kelly's house and I click a gun by the SUV, drive up, and I drive back, and she won't think that's a crime at all. No, she probably will. It's only if it happens to you, if it happens to other people. So that's bullshit. That's bullshit. These are laws. These are laws. These are laws from the Constitution. So when you say the code says this and that, this is the Constitution. This trumps the fucking code. And I can understand if a person's being accused of the thing, but if there's no accusation, then people have a right to be free. People think of America as freedom and democracy. The right to remain silent, freedom from double jeopardy. There's 88 at least there, and then there's, the natural rights, which I fill that pothole up with Hobbes's natural rights. So why am I saying this? Because of France. What's going on in France? Okay, so a French policeman has been charged with homicide, and he's now in custody over the killing of a teenager. Good deal. He's been charged with homicide. So he's going to go through court. He's going to go 1 day ago. Is now in custody over the killing of a teenager during a traffic stop near Paris on Tuesday. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of guys that are getting killed in Colorado. That one guy was picking up his son, and then they took a gun and shot him right in the chest because he swallowed a pill. Johnny Hurley saved the day, but cops have to be the hero. If you're the hero, they'll kill you. They killed Johnny Hurley. Christian Glass, they killed him because he asked for help. What? You want our help? We're men. We don't give a shit about other men. We got egos. No, we got a gun. We like to use violence. You need our help. We're going to find a fucking reason to kill you, Christian Glass. France is a lot different than America because they've had that yellow vest movement for 5 years. People are talking about a coup d'etat. Every once in a while, France just goes around and they'll just burn a building down, That's sort of what the French do. I remember talking to some French people, and they kind of made it seem like the cops ain't shit because Sometimes they fuck with you, sometimes you fuck with them. No, not in America. In America, we're afraid of our government here. We don't have freedom and democracy of by and for the people. No, of by and for the cops and for the lawyers. And fuck the people. A coup d'etat. The yellow vest movement's been going on for 5 years. So it's not a coup d'etat. It's frustration at their government. And it also could be trying to inspire us. When I talked to those French people, I was telling them that the cops are terrible. And they were sitting there, oh, the cops are great. And then I got raped by the cops. My face was broken by the cops. And then I got raped by the cops. The cops killed RFK. The cops killed Fred Hampton. The cops were involved with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and JFK's murder. CIA, the cops, John Frederick Parker was supposed to protect Abraham Lincoln. He wasn't sitting at the door. Cops can't even protect our presidents. Cops are shit. They're fastest piles of shit, and they go around just hurting people willy-nilly. And like Frederick Douglass says, the people that the slave-owning white supremacists like to beat up are the ones that they can easily beat up. Same thing with the cops. Cops don't like to go after the dangerous criminal. That Christopher Mondragon, I wonder how long Christopher Mondragon gets to run around free. Does he even have a warrant out for his arrest? Or is he just wanted for like questioning and shit? A 17-year-old named Nahel M. was shot at point-blank range as he drove off and crashed soon afterwards. Anger at his killing has sparked violence across the country. A march led by... There was that white woman that killed that guy. He was in the car and he just hit the gas and he was going to drive off. But cops, they have a hammer. They got a license to kill. And they always figure out a fucking reason to use violence and to murder us. They always fucking figure out a goddamn fucking reason. America to the rest of the world is freedom and democracy, neoliberalism, of, by, and for the people. We don't even read our constitutions. We don't read our laws. We don't read our constitutions. I asked one guy about the law, the objection, the DA and the judge says, how can you expect people to follow the law if they're not even reading the law? It's like they want us to be a bunch of dumb, ignorant, dumb fucks so they can say, we know what the law is, and say, you just gotta obey what I think because I'm the one that knows the law. By the way, that I don't even know, why do we even have courts and district attorneys and clerks and judges? All these bitch-ass piles of shit are just rubber stamping whatever the cops do. Cops go and murder some innocent person that don't deserve it, then they fucking cover it up. Cop goes and kidnaps somebody, then they fuck that guy over that got goddamn kidnapped. There's no freedom and justice and righteousness here. The truth? Jesus Christ. If anything, because I know that Americans are cold-hearted, rat bastard motherfuckers, you have to stand up for yourself. You have to do for yourself. There is nobody coming. Nobody's going to save you, said that rail. Nobody's going to save you. Why do we have the cops and the courts and all this shit then? I thought I was protected and served. I thought I had police protection. A French policeman has been charged. Good. In Paris, shops were ransacked and cars set on fire overnight. Across France, 40,000 cops are deployed, 249 of them injured. Stop killing us, motherfuckers. Why the fuck? Oh, you just want to shoot people? You could have shot his tire. You could have shot his window. Now I shot him in the head. 17-year-old, let's presume he had no seatbelt on. Hey, you, mister, you don't have your seatbelt on. I'm pulling you over. Why aren't you pulling over? Pow, 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 now you're dead for a seatbelt violation? Holy fucking fuck. So I love that France is doing this shit. France always has rebellions and riots, and France is going to continue to have rebellions and riots. That's the culture of France. And where did France get that culture from? Well, it was the American Revolution. They have all their shit. They got a republic. They got the Declaration of Rights of Man. They have a Bill of Rights. They've got a constitution. They've got a separation of government, separation of the powers of government, executive, judicial, legislative. So they got all the liberty, equality, fraternity, democracy. In their preamble, they talk about the Declaration of Rights and Man. So, is this revolution? Is this a coup d'etat? I wish it was. I hope it is. I hope this inspires America to stand up. Because we need to have a constitutional convention. And we need to have laws. And if you're a good cop, not only do you go around, beating people over the head for their violent and their criminal ways. But when somebody tries to stop somebody having freedom, say the right to assemble, the right to free speech, no, officer, we are assembling peacefully, and we're allowed to speak too. That's the goddamn law. How are you a cop? How are you a law enforcer, and you don't even know the damn Bill of Rights? These piece of shit bitches put on a cop's uniform, and they don't even know the Constitution. How the fuck do they get how do they get a job so goddamn quickly? They're not professional. They don't do their damn jobs. They don't have a conscience. They'll fuck over the guy that pulls his car over. But Christopher Mondragon probably killed a guy, stole his truck. Well, that's a dangerous guy. Cops ain't going to do shit about Christopher Mondragon. Christopher Mondragon's going to get to live a nice, long, healthy life. He don't have to read the laws of Colorado. He ain't going to waste his time reading no laws of Colorado. He understands the laws of the streets. And he also knows people are bullshit going to court. America, going to court and act like you're going to defend yourself? Prime Minister Elizabeth Bourne said she understood the outpouring of emotion, but she condemned the riots. Nothing justifies the violence that's occurred. Shut the fuck up. Stop killing us, cops. Stop fucking murdering us, man. Stop oppressing us. Stop stealing from us. Bunch of oppressive, molesting motherfuckers. A bunch of nozo, chomo, fascist, bastard, rat, fuck, perverted pieces of shit. Like a damn racist. You're already a fucking perverted fuck. You're not enforcing to establish justice. To promote the domestic tranquility. To promote the general welfare. To provide for the common defense. And to establish justice. And to form a more perfect union. And to form a more perfect government. And to protect our civil liberties. We got 100 freedoms in this country on paper. But if the cops don't recognize our freedom, this one cop said, I just let them go on and on about their freedoms. And he's talking about the right-wing sovereigns. And the right-wing sovereign says that the American Constitution doesn't allow for the states to be made. There is no Oregon. There is no Colorado. There is no Texas. It's just all America. You don't understand federalism. You don't understand how this fucking country is formed. You don't understand our Constitution. You don't understand jack shit. The U.S. Constitution allows for states to be formed. The U.S. isn't the republic. The state is the republic, and then we're a collection of republics. That's fucking federalism. So the Nazis go ahead and read the Constitution and misinterpret the damn thing, and then they're sovereigns, which means they think that they're above everybody. They're kings and queens. They don't abide by no Constitution. I don't want no fucking crown from the gutter. Bill of Rights, Constitution. Nothing justifies the violence. No, you killed a guy. 17 years old. Is he going to go get a job? Find a wife? Is he going to have children and get a career? Is he going to become the prime minister of France? No, I guess he's dead. He ain't going to do shit. That cop murdered a fucking guy. Why? Because of ego? Because of bullshit reasons? Was it worthy of death? He didn't have his brake light on. He didn't turn his signal on before he made a right-hand turn. He wasn't speeding. He was actually going 5 miles under the speed limit, which annoyed me. I remember getting beat up. You want to know why I love freedom so much? Being in Kentucky, which is a republic in America, I was getting beat up every fucking day. Barbara Williams was the matriarch, and everybody had to kiss her ass, and she believed in child abuse and racism and ugliness and terrible. So I'm getting beat up every fucking day. I'm doing good, right? I'm listening to the fucking authorities. Doing the chores, doing the straight A's, doing the tobacco, doing the dishes, doing every fucking goddamn thing. But it never won anybody anything. They got my labor and then kept treating me like a fucking asshole. It's like they didn't even know we lived in America. It's like they didn't know we had a Bill of Rights. It's like they didn't know that they're passing on a legacy of freedom and democracy, of by and for the people. They had no clue. They're just a bunch of fascist, oppressor, molester, fascist bastard, nozo, chomo, piles of shit. They just love shoving green beans up their kids' asses. That's all they give a fuck about. So then I go to college, right? Valedictorian, straight A's. They try to fuck me over. I'm about to, go on my way. But they're piles of shit. And they've been beating up a scapegoat, and they didn't want the scapegoat. They thought they did in the beginning to succeed, but then no, we got used to just scapegoating you. It was almost like beating up their children was what brought them together. And that stupid, dumb bitch, she was so fucking happy when she was being a dick. He eventually stopped smacking his wife and kids around, but then she started doing it. And she loved it because it got at her aggression. And she hated her kids because society was mean to her, and she had all this aggression, and she just wanted to beat up her kids, and she loved it. She got Kathy to beat them up. She got Barbara to beat them up. There's that shit that's happening at Rosie's. Always some kind of shit happening at Rosie's. So when I went to college, I read the Constitution, and it said, my God, we don't just have a couple of freedoms. And then think about their fucked up definition of freedom. So a fascist Nazi will be like, oh, you want freedom? Because they want to oppress you and manipulate you. But if they're oppressing you, they're saying they get to do whatever the fuck they want to do, and they get to take your freedom away. Well, that's a stupid definition of freedom. You don't get to be free to speak, but I get to be free to beat you up. What? Yeah, I get to be free to use violence and criminality. You only respect criminals? But we have a right to habeas corpus, a right to a lawyer, a right to defend ourselves. Excessive bail, fines, cruel and unusual punishments are banned. We got a lot of freedoms. We got a lot of freedoms in America. The right of a trial by jury for civil suits is protected. The right to serve legal papers. People v. Eric Neckel. The right to home rule, the freedom of the press, the right to peacefully assemble, the rights of contracts is absolute. Now, I took all the freedoms of America and Colorado and I put them together. Now, you would think that being an American, I would at least have somebody else to talk to about all the rights and freedoms that I have. It'd be nice to talk to one person. I asked Breonna Joy Gray if she believed in rights and freedoms, but they don't give a shit at all. They don't give a shit at all. You can't answer a simple yes or no question. And even though you sons of bitches couldn't say mass murder of a bunch of innocents were wrong, the laws already says that you can't murder people. And we have a right to speak up, and we have a freedom of the press, the right to peacefully assemble. So when I'm sitting there getting beat up by these Confederate child-abusing piles of shit, then I go out and I read that I had all these rights and freedoms. Did you not read the Constitution? Do you not know what country you live in? Freedom. He believes in freedom. Where did he get that idea from? When we went to bomb Iraq, he said that they were jealous of our freedoms. What are you talking about, you dumb motherfuckers? The right of contracts is absolute. No ex post facto law nor law impairing the obligation of contracts irrespective of its operation. The right of equal protection of the law. All persons are born. Heard that all men are created equal, and then a Nazi was like, nuh-uh. It was a female Nazi. Okay, if all men aren't born equal, then females aren't born equal to men. What are you talking about? People have differences. Of course they have differences. But the point of everybody has a right to speak. Everybody's got a right to peacefully assemble. All the rights and freedoms that you're bequested upon by our constitutions. That's why citizenship matters. That's why being an American citizen matters. Because we have freedom from military rule. We have states are free to coin gold and silver. We have freedom from unreasonable search and seizures. Now, you got to have a warrant. We, the people, have the right to revolution. That's interesting. So, according to Colorado's Constitution, Article 2, Section 2, we, the people, have the right to revolution when it's necessary to our safety and happiness. And as long as it's not repugnant to the Constitution of the U.S. So, the rule of law is important, right? You had Kenny Capin and Robert Pickrell and Jacqueline Mitchell and Noah Spaulding are sitting there shooting at me. Well, I'm not safe. I'm not safe with these Nazi criminal fucking piles of shit. Hiram Richardson and then goddamn Nick Vilela. Just a bunch of Nazi fucking pieces of shit. They love evil, they love wickedness, and they love crimes. Oh my God, do they get off the crimes. When they murdered my dog, they all got together and jerked off onto a biscuit. And Noah ate it, and that's weird because you would think Noah wouldn't be a racist, but he sucks Troy Zinn's dick every day. Troy Zinn's the captain of the Nazis over there. He knows Bruce Doucette, he knows Vince Edward, he knows them all. He invites them all over. Because he's better than America and he's better than Colorado. He thinks he's a king over all you all. He gets to murder your dog and do drive-by shootings and commit crimes against you. Of course he does. He's a sovereign. He's a king over everybody. And Noah Spalding licks that dick by paying him money for his water. He can't say no to that Nazi bitch. He's got to put money in his pocket and give him a little pat on the ass and lick that shaft. The right to vote, the right to life, liberty, property, the pursuit of happiness, the right to petition. So if we're not happy or safe, here's the question with the right to revolution. Can one man start the revolution? Because the right to revolution is the self-defense principle of a nation. The right to revolution is the self-defense principle of a nation. So one person can defend themselves against another person or a group of people. But can one person start the revolution by himself? Because you would need a critical mass. You would need like at least a couple more. You would need like over 50%, right? The nation says we're sick of this shit. And then the nation stands up and then the nation changes the rules of the game. Right to petition, freedom from religious tests for all offices in the U.S. No religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the U.S. Freedom from state religion, freedom from titled nobility, the right to know how public monies are spent. The freedom from war, because only Congress has the power to declare war. Presidents just can't throw us into war. Freedom from slavery. So I'm sitting there getting my ass kicked every day because I'm a little bitty baby child who loves his parents and is obeying his parents, and they think that them being awful terrorists, oppressor, pieces of shit is working. Look, he's doing everything we say. Yeah, but what if he fucking hates and resents how we're fucking treating him? We're not treating him with any respect or dignity. We're not telling him he's an American and that he has all these rights and freedoms. Freedom? He don't have freedom. Why are you against another person's freedom? Because I want to control him. You just want to enslave your own kids, abuse your own kids. What sick motherfucking Confederate piles of shit you are. The freedom from standing armies, the freedom from any of the 50 states invading the other, the right to free and open elections, the right to have a 2-term maximum president, the right to security. Now, I couldn't talk to anybody that said murder was wrong. Bunch of disagreeable assholes. And because maybe I should thank you. Since you don't have morals, it's like, you know what? Murder is just wrong, you dumb motherfucking pile of fucking shit. And it's illegal. So if you don't know that murder is wrong, well, it's illegal. It's very, very illegal, you stupid bitch motherfuckers. The right to security. What? Let's read this. What is this? The right to security in America? No, this is Colorado, Article 2, Section 3. Okay. Inalienable rights. All persons have certain natural, essential, and inalienable rights, among which may be reckoned the right of enjoying and defending their lives and liberties, of acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and of seeking and obtaining their safety and happiness. I remember I fought a seatbelt ticket, and I was talking to my public pretender, and he was saying, you can't go in there talking about your rights and freedoms. I can't go in a court in front of the DA and judge and tell them that there's laws in this country. Hey, judge and district attorney, there's laws in this country. I have a right to free speech, and when you stop that, then that means you're breaking the law. I got a right to peacefully petition. I have a right to peacefully assemble. And I got a right to bear arms in defense of home, person, and property. But if you want to fuck over my freedoms, if you want to fuck over my life, that means I don't have safety. I don't have safety and I'm not happy. And that means I get to do a revolution. And so the question, I think so. One man with courage makes the majority. That's Andrew Jackson. Can one man start the revolution? He could try, I guess. And then whether or not the revolution carries on. But I think so. It always starts with one man. It started with Crispus Attucks. It started with Robespierre. It starts with Washington and Adams. Not just one man, but just a few men. Just a few people get together, and then maybe that's what I need, like 5 other people. Because my idea, the end goal of the revolution, is to just say we're Americans again. We're Coloradan Americans. All the freedoms that Colorado guarantees me, and all the freedoms that America guarantees me, and all the freedoms that's found in natural law that we haven't codified yet, All those rights and freedoms are the law of the land, and we should memorize them and talk about them and brag about them. God damn, are we going to fucking throw this country away because you all want to be a bunch of dumbass piles of shit? You just want to beat up your kids and be a bunch of racist pieces of shit? You're going to throw my country away. Freedom from debtor's prison, no ex post facto laws. You're going to pass a bunch of post facto laws? No state tariffs on exports during times of peace, the right to keep soldiers from living up in your homes. Now, the American Revolution wouldn't have been successful without France. We don't appreciate the people that have helped us out. My God, the fucking racism is disgusting. There's so many people that got fucked over who just adored Talgayita. Loved the white man. Nobody loved the white man more than Talgayita. And what'd we do to Talgayita? We killed his whole family. Yeah, I killed them all. His wife, child, goddamn motherfucking mother, father, cousins, grandparents, brothers, sisters, children, everybody and anybody he ever fucking knew. He loved the white man. The white man killed every fucking person in his life. No state tariffs on exports. During freedom from eternal immunities and corporations. Let's talk about some of the freedoms that France has. This is Thomas Jefferson. We should identify with the French a lot more. And I know they speak that weird French and it's but they're beautiful. The French language, they turn speaking French into an art form. Go to Appalachia and they don't even really speak English. They kind of speak like a and I don't know, I think it's both disgusting and beautiful. I would love to just codify our own language, American English. This is our words, this is our language, this is how we talk. So the Declaration of Rights of Man in 1789, let's read some of these. These are the rights and freedoms that France has had since 1789. Number 1, men are born and remain free and equal in rights. Social distinctions may be founded only upon the general good. Number 2, the aim of all political association is the preservation of the natural and imprescriptible rights of man. These rights are liberty, property, security, and the resistance to oppression. We got a right to property and security. 1789, France says that security, security is a human need. We need security in order to have freedom. We can have them both. Freedom, security, property, resistance to oppression. Resistance to oppression. That's the second right of man. We're all born equal, and then we can resist oppression. So these oppressor molesters are sitting there taking away not just our rights, but let's be honest, they're taking away our souls. The end goal of an oppressor is death. They want to kill who you are so they can turn you into a fucking cog of the machine. The principle of all sovereignty resides essentially in the nation. No body or individual may exercise any authority which does not proceed directly from the nation, which means that once you elect your government, then that's the government that's in power. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Liberty consists in the freedom to do everything which injures nobody else. Oh, you're doing stuff and it didn't injure anybody? Well, you're allowed to do that. That's interesting. No injury. I fired a couple warning shots. The guy said he wasn't injured. He says that he wasn't scared of the gunshots, but the way I drove around the house afterwards. So wasn't afraid, wasn't injured. So why would I get raped for 6 years? Hence, the exercise of natural rights of each man has no limits except those which assure to the other members of the society the enjoyment of the same rights. Yeah, you have a right to speak sing all you want in your own bathroom. Sing as loud and as much as you want in your own, and everybody gets that freedom. You probably, I would think, get that freedom in like Politburo, North Korea and shit. He was singing in his bathroom. Why were you listening? It's cheap walls. It's an apartment building. And he was just gaily, just happily, just so... A man was singing? Well, that can't be. Law can only prohibit such actions as are hurtful to society. So again and again, we got a right to freedom, right to freedom, right to freedom, the natural right to freedom. We have a constitutional right to freedom, common sense right to freedom. My God, it's all fucking freedom and democracy, and yet Julian Assange is still behind bars. What that means is we should go fucking send in a special teams operation and save Edward Snowden and save Julian Assange. We should never let Bradley Manning go to fucking jail. No, he was freedom of the speech, freedom of the press, you motherfuckers. These are laws, and you're breaking them. The laws shall provide such punishments only strictly and obviously necessary. No person shall be accused, arrested, or imprisoned except in the cases and according to the forms prescribed by law. Law is the expression of the general will. This is such smart stuff. So I'm behind you, France, with your revolution. American cops kill people left and right, and Americans, they're selfish. And it's dog eat dog, it's capitalistic, so that's just a competitor. Well, you just got rid of that competitor, but you also got rid of a customer and a worker, and maybe somebody that would have provided a service or cured cancer. We have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We don't even have a right to live in America. Cops have a license to kill, so when they want to kill us, we just have to let them. Christian Glass got $19 million, so there is some pushback. But it seems like it's fascism all over. Who else reads the Bill of Rights? Anybody want to talk about the Bill of Rights? Anybody want to talk about recodifying and... So what I want is to reestablish this. It would be like if I went to America, the Congress, or if I went to Denver, if I went to a state government, and I just said, let's have the Bill of Rights Day. Have a Bill of Rights Day where we honor our freedoms. Set forth in the Colorado Constitution, American Constitution, and Hobbes's 24 natural rights. We got over 100 freedoms. This is a great country because we've established ourselves the correct way. We're getting consent of the governed, we're protecting individual rights, and we're letting governments do whatever the hell they want. On paper it says that, well, more to come.